Hello friends, I am BJ Dave, lecturer in English, working at Government Polytechnic Junagadh. This is the third part of our topic, determiners. Until now, we have discussed the use of different articles, the use of different determiners including some, any, much, many, all, both, no, none, and little. In this particular lecture, we will be discussing the uses of the remaining determiners, and in this particular part, we will finish this particular topic. So, we will start this lecture from the item a little. The Gujarati meaning of a little you can see on the screen. A little is used with uncountable nouns. Remember, a little is used with uncountable nouns, nouns which cannot be counted. Further, a little means some, though not much. A little means some, though not much. Means it has a positive sense. At least there is some quantity of something, so it is positive in meaning. Let us look at the examples of a little. I have a little money. We can have a cup of ice cream. I have a little money means I have some money. Though I don't have much money, at least I have some money, and with this money we can have a cup of ice cream. A little is positive. Money, before money it is used a little. Next sentence, a little care would have averted the accident. A little care would have averted the accident. Means if you had taken some extra care, then the accident could have been avoided. A little care. The word care is an uncountable noun, and to express positivity, a little has been used before it. Next example, the patient's condition is improving. Now we have a little hope of his getting well soon. Look at the example very attentively. The patient's condition is improving. Means the doctor is positive about the improvement in the condition of the patient, and that's why he is making this statement in the second sentence. Now we have a little hope of his getting well soon. Hope, a little hope, positive. Perhaps within a week or so the patient will improve and he will be discharged from the hospital. Coming to the next determiner, the little. You can see the meaning of the little on the screen. Going further, the little is used with uncountables. The little is used with uncountable nouns, those nouns which cannot be counted. The little means not much, but all there is or all there was, the whole quantity of something. The little expresses a negative meaning. Look at the examples to make the above things clearer in your mind. The little money I had was enough to buy ice cream for us. How much money did you have? I had the little money. But all that amount of money was enough to buy ice cream for us. The money that I had was not much, but all that amount, it was quite enough to serve a purpose. Next example, the little water that was in the pond dried up during the summer. Before my visit to the town, before summer when I visited the town, I had seen little water in the pond. But when I visited the town at a second time, there was no water. The little water, almost there was no quantity of water. The little one that was in the pond dried up during the summer. The whole quantity of water means the little water. Next example, the little help that he offered me was of no use. How much help did he offer? Little help. But all that help, it was of no use to me. Again, the little help that he offered me was of no use. The word help, water, and money, these are all uncountable nouns. And before those uncountable nouns, the little is used to bring out the sense that has been written in the title of the slide. Next determiners are few, a few, and the few. Beginning with few. Again, you can look at the meaning of the determiner few on the slide. Now, when do we use few? It is used with countables. Remember, my friends, very well, the determiners little, a little, the little, all of them, they are used with uncountable nouns to convey different kinds of sense. But these determiners, few, a few, and the few, three of them, they are used with countable nouns to convey a different kinds of sense. Few means not many, hardly any, means almost none. Few students were there, means out of 100 students, there were only 4 or 5 students present. This is what is meant by the word few. Not many, hardly any. In other words, almost none. Negative sense. Few has a negative meaning. Look at the examples. My grandparents have few visitors. Means few visitors, they come to visit my grandparents. Almost no visitor visit my grandparents. Negative. Few women can keep a secret. It is the nature of a woman to reveal a secret, and that's why few of them can keep a secret. Means almost none of them can keep a secret. Negative meaning. This magazine is not good. It offers few readable articles. Let me repeat the example. This magazine is not good. Expressing negativity in the first sentence. In the second sentence, what do you say? Why do you say that the magazine is not good? Because it offers few readable articles. Almost there is no article which is worth reading, and that's why few readable articles. Next item is a few. Again, for your better understanding, I have written the Gujarati translation or Gujarati meaning of the determiner a few. A few, it is used with countables. A few is used with those nouns which can be counted. A few means some though not many. Some though not many. At least there are some students, some computers, some pens, some papers, etc. A few has a positive sense. Look at the examples for your better understanding. It was Diwali, so a few people came to greet my grandparents. It was Diwali, so a few people came to greet my grandparents. Do you remember the sentence that we used in the earlier slides? That sentence was, my grandparents have few visitors. Means almost no visitors. But here I am expressing a positive sense. It is a time of Diwali, time of celebration. So a few people means at least some people came to greet my grandparents. People, countable noun. use of a few before countable nouns. Next sentence, a few tips that he gave were really useful for me during the interview. A few tips that he gave were really useful for me during the interview. How many tips did he give? A few tips, at least some tips he gave, and they were really useful. Really useful means that tips were useful to me, expressing a positive sense by making use of a few. And the word tips, the noun tips, is a countable noun as we have used suffix s at the end of the word. Next example, last evening I went to Bhavna temple with a few friends. Last evening I went to Bhavna temple with a few friends. Number of friends will be some. Though there may not be many friends, but at least some friends were there. Friends, countable noun. The use of a few before countable noun to express a positive meaning. Next item is the few. Again, have a look at the Gujarati meaning of the determiner the few. The few is used with countables. In other words, the few is used with countable nouns, those nouns which can be counted. The few means not many, but all there are. My friends, do you remember the use of the little? We said that the little is used with uncountable nouns, and the meaning of the little is not much, but all there is or all there was. But here the few is used with countable nouns, and that's why we do not say not much, but we say not many, but all there are. The few has a negative sense. Let us look at the examples to make things more clearer. The few people who came to greet my grandparents had a good time with them. Let me repeat. The few people who came to greet my grandparents had a good time with them. Though the number of people who visited my grandparents were not many in number, but all those who visited my grandparents, maybe 3 or 4 or 5, all of them had a good time with them. This is the sense which is conveyed by the use of the few. Again, look, the word people, the noun people, it is a countable noun, and before countable noun, the few is used to convey the sense that we have written above. The few friends that I have in Junagadh are all very amicable. In Junagadh, I do not have much friends. The speaker is saying, how many friends do you have in Junagadh? The answer is, I do not have many friends. But all those friends are very amicable. Though they are not very great in numbers, they are very few, but all of them are very friendly, very amicable. The few friends. Friends is a countable noun. Before a countable noun, this particular determiner is used to convey the sense not many, but all there are. Next example, the few stories that he has written are all very beautiful. Asking about a particular short story writer, how many stories he has written? The answer is, he has written few stories, but those few stories, they are all very beautiful. Maybe he has written only 7 or 8 short stories, but all those 7 or 8 short stories, they are very, very beautiful, very, very worth reading. Again, the few stories that he has written are all very beautiful. Here, look at the noun stories. It's a countable noun. It's a plural noun. Before that, we are making use of this particular determiner, the few. Coming to next item, next determiner, which is either, neither, etc. They are specifically known as distributives. because they distribute the persons or things that a person is talking about. What do we mean by either? It means any of the two persons or things, either this or that, either Ram or Lakshman, either computer or laptop, etc. Any of the two persons or thing. Look at the examples of either. You can take either train or bus. My dear friend, I want to come to Ahmedabad. Can I come by train or can I take a bus? The answer is you can take either train or bus. Both the means of transportation are available, so as per your convenience you can take either of them, either train or bus. Two things and any of the two persons or things, which is what is meant by the word either. Next example, either student or guardian should attend the meeting. Maybe there is a notice from the school and the notice says that the meeting is very important and either student or guardian should attend it. Two persons, student, guardian, and referring to any one of them, which is what is meant by the word either. Either also means the both. Look at the example. Trees have grown on either side of the road. For example, if you come to Gandhinagar or if you are entering the city Junagadh, you can see trees grown on both the sides of the road, and that's why the example trees have grown on either side of the road means on both the sides of the road. Next item or next determiner is neither. Neither means not the one nor the other. If there are two things, neither of them is present, neither of them is available, not the one nor the other. Neither is the opposite of either. Look at the examples. Neither Ram nor Lakshman was available for help. How come this has happened? Weren't they available for help? Ram and Lakshman? No, neither of them were available. Neither Ram nor Lakshman was available for help. There are two persons, but none of them was present, and that's why the use of neither. Neither the loco-pilot nor the guard was aware of the incident. What happened? Didn't they come to notice it? They means loco-pilot or the guard? No, none of them knew about it. Neither the loco-pilot nor the guard was aware of the incident, not the one nor the other. So friends, with this we are coming to the end of this particular discussion on determiners. Now we are going to discuss some exercises for your better and clearer understanding. So in the next slides we will be attempting some of the exercises or some of the blanks in which we are supposed to put determiners in those blanks. My friends, it is not enough to understand what is determiners, its definition and uses of different determiners. Without exercise we cannot thoroughly understand when we should use a particular determiner. That's why exercise is very much necessary. In this particular exercise, I have written an imaginative story of a lecturer in computer engineering, and using his story I have tried to incorporate the uses of all determiners that we have learned. So the story is in the form of different sentences which is divided into different slides, but it is a continuous story. Let us start it. A person whose name is Jack and He is a lecturer in computer engineering. In the coming examples of the imaginative story that I have written, we are going to explore his job in a particular university, what he does in a computer lab, etc. First sentence: hello, I am Jack. I am dash lecturer in computer engineering in dash university. Try to fill up the blank on your own. Here I will give you some tips how to fill up a particular example or a sentence in which we are supposed to insert appropriate determiners. Look at the word lecturer, which comes immediately after the blank. Lecturer is a noun. It's the initial sound of that lecturer or a word is consonant, la sound. That's why we'll put article a in it. I am a lecturer in computer engineering in dash university. University, ya sound, initial ya sound, consonant sound, and that's why article a. Hello, I'm Jack. I am a lecturer in computer engineering in a university. What does Jack say further about him? Dash university is situated in dash Varanasi on dash banks of dash Ganga. University we are using twice, and that's why we will make use of article the in the first blank of the second sentence. The university is situated in dash Varanasi. Varanasi, as it is a proper noun, it is name of a city. There is no need to put any article. So no article will be used before Varanasi. Going further, Varanasi on dash banks of Ganga. On the banks of the Ganga. Why article the before banks? Because we are specifying which banks you are talking about. We are talking about banks of Ganga, and that's why the banks of the Ganga. Why the before Ganga? Because it is name of a river, and that's why the Ganga. Again, let us read the sentence filling up with appropriate determiners. The university is situated in Varanasi on the banks of the Ganga. Further, let us know what Jack has to say about him. I am dash ME in computer engineering from dash famous IIT in Mumbai. I means Jack. I am an ME in computer engineering from the famous IIT in Mumbai. Why article N before ME? Because ME begins with the sound of an open vowel A, and that's why NME. From the famous IIT. The IIT is very much famous, and that's why article the, and we are specifying it. Famous IIT in Mumbai. I am an ME in computer engineering from the famous IIT in Mumbai. Next sentence about Jack. Jack says, my usual day at work starts from 10:30 in dash morning and ends at 5 o'clock in dash evening. Morning and evening, before them we generally put article the. In the morning, in the evening, in the afternoon, etc. So in the morning, my usual day starts from 10:30 in the morning, article the, and ends at 5 o'clock in the evening, article the again. Next sentence, Jack says, my sitting is in dash computer lab. My sitting is in a computer lab. A computer lab because it is indefinite. We don't know which computer lab Jack is talking about. And article a because computer, ka sound is a consonant sound, and that's why article a. My sitting is in a computer lab. When I joined job in 1998, I was happy to see dash computers in dash lab. When Jack joined job in 1998, he was happy to see dash computers in dash labs. Many computers in the lab. Computer, many. Countable nouns. That's why many. And the lab, because we have once used computer lab in the earlier sentence. Next. But dash later, I came to know that dash computers were not in good condition. Only dash computers were working, while dash remaining ones had dash number of problems. But a little later, a little, sometime later, a little means but, sometime later, but a little later, I came to know that every computers were not in good condition. Sorry, not every computer, but all computers were not in good computer. All means if for example, if there were 30, all of them were not in good condition. That's why all computers were in not good condition. Only dash computers were working. Positive sense, computer, countable noun. Positive sense because some of them were working, and that's why only a few computers were working, while dash remaining ones had a dash number of problems. While the remaining ones means some were working, talking about the other particular numbers, and that's why the remaining ones had a number of problems. The remaining ones had many problems. If you remember, we said that in a positive sentence, where we want to express where we want to express number in a positive sense, we may make use of many, but we prefer to make use of phrases like a number of, a great deal of, etc. And that's why here a number of problems. Further, what is the story of Jack, a lecturer in computer engineering? Dash computers were infected with virus. Dash were having inadequate RAM. Dash were having corrupt hard disk. And lastly, dash ones, I mean one or two, required to be cleaned with dash blowers. In the first blank, we will put determiner some. Some computers were infected with virus. Some. More than one. Some computers were infected with virus. Some were having an inadequate RAM. Some, more than two, were having an inadequate. Inadequate, the word beginning with vowel sound E, and that's why an inadequate RAM. Dash were having dash corrupt hard disk. Some were having a corrupt hard disk. Some, more than one, were having a corrupt hard disk. Corrupt, consonant sound, article a corrupt hard disk. And lastly, few ones, I mean one or two, required to be cleaned with a blower. One or two means not many in number. That's why few ones, I mean one or two, required to be cleaned with a blower. Blower beginning with a consonant sound and article a blower. Further, luckily dash monitors were perfectly in good condition. Luckily, all monitors were, sorry, not all, but luckily many monitors were perfectly in good condition, except. Why many and not all? Because there is a problem with CRT monitor and an LCD monitor, and that's why we are making use of many. Many monitors were perfectly in good condition except a CRT monitor. CRT monitor beginning with C sound, consonant sound, article a, which was lying in dash farthest corner of dash lab, which was lying in the farthest. Farthest is a superlative degree, and that's why article the farthest corner of the lab. Which lab you are talking about? We are talking about the lab in which Jack had a sitting. And an LCD monitor. An LCD monitor. LCD begins with the sound of an open vowel, and that's why the use of article N before it. An LCD monitor which was packed in a box. a box, we don't know which box, indefinite box, that's why a box. A box, because box is a consonant sound, ba sound, and kept on dash shelves due to dash unidentified problem, and kept on the shelves. Why the shelves? Because we mean the shelves of the laboratory, and that's why the shelves, particular shelves due to an unidentified problem. Unidentified, consonant sound, initial sound is a, and that's why article N. Further, what is the story of Jack? Well, dash 30 computers were in perfectly good condition, but dash condition of mice was not dash good. Well, all 30 keyboards, all of them, for example, if 30 were there, all of them were in perfectly good condition, that's why all, but dash condition of mice was not dash 1. The condition of mice, talking about particular mouse situated in a lab, the condition of mice was not a good one. Article A in the last blank. Going further, when I checked further, dash types of mouse were available, dash a ball mouse and dash optical mouse. When I checked further, both types of mouse were available. Talking about two persons of things, both a ball mouse and an optical mouse. A ball mouse, ba sound, article A, consonant, optical mouse, O sound, vowel sound, article N. Going further, on dash third day of my joining, my boss called me in his chamber. When I entered dash chamber, he was taking dash lunch, so I decided to meet him after dash time. On the third day, third is an ordinal, and that's why article the. On the third day of my joining, my boss called me in his chamber. When I entered the chamber, particular chamber, the chamber in which the boss used to sit, that's why the chamber, he was taking lunch. No article before lunch, before the names of meals, that's why no article will be there. So I decided to meet him after dash time. So I decided to meet him after some time. Determiner some will be there because uncountable noun time is there and it expresses a positive sense. Going further, when I entered his office after half dash hour, he offered me dash cup of tea. Thereafter, we had a dash informal talk about dash working status of dash computers in my lab. When I entered his office after half an hour, a sound of vowel sound, article N, he offered me a cup of coffee. A cup of coffee. A means one. Thereafter, we had dash informal talk. Informal talk. Initial sound of informal is E, vowel sound, and that's why an informal talk about dash working status. About the working status. Why the working status? Because we are talking about the working status of particular computers in lab, and that's why the working status of the computers in my lab. Computers we have used so many times in the story of Jack, and that's why the use of article the in the repetition. Next, as I had already worked out dash things, I readily submitted dash above mentioned data to him. As I had already worked out the things, I readily submitted the above mentioned data to him. The things means the checking that I had done of the computers, the data that I had gathered, and that's why the things, talking about particular thing, that's why the things, I readily submitted the above mentioned data. The data that we have just seen in the earlier slides, that some computers were working, some were not working, all this data, particular data, that's why the above mentioned data to him. Next, then he instructed me to try my best to start dash the computers and ask me how dash time it will take to do so. When the boss came to know that all computers were not in perfectly good condition, he gave instruction to Jack. What instruction did he give? To start dash the computers, to start all the computers. For example, all the 30 computers. That's why all in the blank. And ask me how much time it will take to do so. How much time it will take to do so. Time, it cannot be counted. And again, it's an interrogative sentence. You can see that after so we have used the mark of interrogation, and that's why the use of much in the sentence. How much time it will take to do so. Going further, as I used to remain busy with dash lectures most of dash time, I asked for dash 3 months time to complete dash assignment. As I used to remain busy with the lectures. Which lectures you are talking about? Because you know that I am a lecturer in computer engineering, and that's why I am talking about the lectures of the students of computer engineering. That's why the lectures most of the time. The time we will put article the over there. I asked for a 3 months time to complete the assignment. Article a will be there before 3 months time to complete the assignment. Which assignment? The assignment that my boss, that Jack's boss had given to him. That's why the assignment, particular assignment. Going further, at this he asked whether I can finish dash work dash faster. At this he asked whether I can finish the work a little faster. Finish the work, particular work. Which work? Of putting the computer in a right condition, and that's why the work, the assignment, a little faster. Positive meaning, a little faster. Going further, I humbly replied that in dash morning, during dash first 3 lectures, I am busy with lectures, and in dash afternoon, in dash 4th and dash 5th slots of my lab have been arranged. So during dash weekday, I get just dash hours time. I humbly replied. Who humbly replied? Jack. To whom? To his boss. That in the morning, before morning, article the, during the first 3 periods, first is an ordinal, and that's why article the, in the 4th and the 5th slots, 4th and 5th are ordinals, and that's why the use of article the. My labs have been arranged. So during a weekday, during any weekday, Monday or Tuesday or weekday, I get just n hours free time. Hour, as you know, it is having initial vowel sound or sound, and that's why n hours free time. Going further and reading the story of Jack. Before I left his chamber, he re-emphasized that he wanted dash computer in dash lab to work smoothly, so that in dash bench of 20 students, dash student gets computer during dash lab session. Before I left his chamber, he re-emphasized, Jack's boss re-emphasized that he wanted dash computer in dash lab to work smoothly. He wanted every computer. Before computer, we will put every, determiner every, in dash lab to work smoothly, in the lab to work smoothly, so that in a batch of 20 students, a batch, any batch of 20 students or one batch of 20 students, dash student gets computer during dash lab student. Each student gets a computer during the lab session. Look at the 3 last blanks. Each student, each talking about students, 20 students individually. The boss's emphasis is that each and every student should get a computer for better understanding or practice, and that's why each student gets a computer during the lab session. Going further, I assured him to do my best in dash interest of dash students. I means Jack. Jack ensured his boss to do his best in the interest. It's a phrase we usually use, and with this phrase we use the article the, in the interest of the students. Which students you are talking about? The students of the lab. That's why the students. Back in my lab, I started work on dash assignment along with my lab assistant, and within dash allotted time we dash finished work. Back in my lab, I started work on the assignment given earlier by my boss, and that's why the assignment along with my lab assistant and within an allotted time. Allotted means allotted is having a vowel sound, open vowel sound or sound, and that's why an allotted time. We both means Jack and the lab assistant, two persons, talking about two persons at the same time, and that's why both finish the work of computers. When dash boss visited dash lab, he was quite happy to see dash computers working perfectly well. When the boss, whose boss? Jack's boss. That's why the boss, particular boss. When the boss visited the lab, which lab? The lab that we have been talking about, the computer lab. That's why the lab. He was quite happy to see all computers working perfectly well. Computers, all computers, talking about persons or things in a group when they are in plural or when they are having a countable noun. That's why all computers working perfectly well. He inquired whether we had to change dash parts. Who inquired? Jack's boss inquired him whether they had to change any parts, asking a question, and that's why any parts. At this we replied that dash parts were required to be changed in monitor. At this we replied that some parts were required to be changed in monitor, more than one. That's why some parts were required to be changed in monitor, and dash of the keyboards were having dash problem, and none of the keyboards were having any problem, because you know that all the keyboards were working perfectly well, and that's why here we will put it in negative. None of the keyboards were having any problem. But as far as CPUs were concerned, we have to increase the capacity of RAM in dash computers. Increase the capacity of RAM in some computers, and luckily dash SMPSs means just two have to be changed. Few SMPSs have to be changed, very small in number, that's why few. So friends, this is the end of exercise 1 of determiner. I hope you have understood the topic very well. Do practice and you will be able to perform well in your exam. Wish you all the best. Thank you.